Anneliese Michel was born in 1952 in Klingenberg am Main, Bavaria, West Germany. Her family was devoutly Catholic, strict, traditional, and deeply tied to the church. Her mother, Anna, had once considered becoming a nun. Her father, Joseph, held their faith as law in their household. By all accounts, Anneliese was a bright, kind, and hard-working child. Teachers remembered her as polite and intelligent, though shy. She played piano, dreamed of becoming a teacher, and, like many teenagers, longed for independence. But in her home, faith wasn't just guidance, it was everything. Little did anyone know, her story would become one of the most infamous clashes between faith and science the world has ever seen. In 1968, at just 16 years old, Anneliese experienced her first seizure. Her body twisted, her muscles locked, and she lost consciousness. Doctors diagnosed her with temporal lobe epilepsy, a condition that can cause not only seizures, but hallucinations, paranoia, and deep religious visions. She was prescribed anticonvulsant drugs, but they didn't work. Instead, her episodes grew darker. She heard voices whispering, "You will burn in hell." She saw demonic faces in everyday objects. At night, she reported feeling a crushing presence pressing her into the bed. Science said epilepsy. Anneliese believed it was something else. Through her late teens, Anneliese became consumed by her visions. She began to despise holy places. Crucifixes repulsed her. She claimed she couldn't step into a church without feeling burned. Her mother described her as changing into someone we didn't recognize. By her early 20s, she said demons were inside her, 6 in total. Among them, Lucifer, Judas Iscariot, Nero, Cain, and even Adolf Hitler. She spoke in guttural tones, growled like an animal, and sometimes displayed violent strength that shocked her family. Doctors urged continued treatment, but her family and local priests believed medicine had failed. For them, the battle wasn't medical, it was spiritual. In 1975, 2 priests, Father Ernst Alt and Father Arnold Renz, were granted permission by the Bishop of Würzburg to perform an exorcism, following the ancient Ritual Romanum. What followed were 67 sessions over 10 grueling months. Each session lasted up to 4 hours. Anneliese would scream until her throat bled. She spoke in multiple voices, claimed to channel the damned, and accused the priests of being too weak to cast her tormentors out. She refused food and water, saying the demons forbade it. Her weight dropped to just 68 pounds. Her knees shattered from compulsive genuflections. On those tapes, her voice shifts from pleading girl to guttural beast. "We are many," the voices growled. To her family, these were demons. To doctors, they were symptoms of psychosis. To Anneliese, it was hell itself. On July 1, 1976, Anneliese Michel died. She was 23 years old, malnourished, dehydrated, and exhausted from the endless rites. Her final words to her mother were heartbreaking. "Mother, I'm afraid." Her death shook Germany. Her parents and the priests were charged with negligent homicide. The trial that followed became a media sensation. Was she a victim of demonic possession, or of religious extremism and medical neglect? Doctors testified that her symptoms matched epilepsy and schizophrenia. They argued her visions were hallucinations made worse by her strict Catholic upbringing. The defense insisted the exorcism was necessary and that Anneliese herself begged for it. In 1978, the court found the priests and her parents guilty of manslaughter by negligence. They were sentenced to 6 months in prison, later suspended, and 3 years probation. But the debate raged on: faith versus science, demons versus delusion. In 2005, her story inspired the horror drama The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Directed by Scott Derrickson, the film blended courtroom drama with supernatural horror. The character of Emily mirrored Anneliese, her seizures, her exorcism, and her death. But Hollywood added levitation, contortions, and the infamous spider walk to terrify audiences. To this day, Anneliese's grave draws pilgrims who see her as a martyr against evil. Some say she offered her suffering for the salvation of others. Others view her as a tragic victim of outdated beliefs and failed medicine. The case remains one of the most studied examples of alleged possession in modern history. To believers, it's undeniable proof of demonic influence. To skeptics, it's a cautionary tale of what happens when faith replaces science. So what do you believe? Was Anneliese Michel truly possessed? Or was she a young woman suffering from illness misunderstood by her time?